Good afternoon. Welcome on this beautiful day to the 2014 UMass Boston Graduate Convocation. Convocation is always a celebration, and there are always some surprises. So let's get started. First, I'd like to introduce our stage party. To my right is our student speaker, Penelope McDonald. And student speaker, Mercy Camus. I'm Steffi Hartwell. I'm Senior Associate Dean of Graduate Studies and Graduate Admissions. Yeah. And to my left is Vice Provost for Research and Dean of Graduate Studies, Zhangguo Zha. Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Winston Langley. And of course, our Chancellor, J. Keith Motley. It's now my honor to introduce Chancellor Motley to give the university's greetings.
So while they're standing, let's give them a rousing round of applause. Hey, don't forget their faculty over here. Give them a rousing round of applause. All right, you can sit down now. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I am so grateful to see everyone here. Thank you for coming to the University of Massachusetts, Boston today. As Chancellor, I am so pleased to welcome all of our guests. But you're not a guest because this is your university. Whether you know it or not, this is your place. And so welcome home. We're grateful that you took the time to come over. Our honored guests this afternoon include our deans, who are part of our family here, our administrators, our provost who was introduced, Winston Langley, and of course our unbelievable student speakers, Mercy Camus and also Penelope McDonald. We're so grateful to have both of you here today, and we look forward to hearing your speeches today. Our students, families, loved ones, and friends, we're so grateful to see you. We're honored by your presence. Thank you for joining us to honor the accomplishments of our recipients of advanced degrees. And to those recipients, congratulations. Congratulations, congratulations. This is your day today, but tomorrow's going to be your morning and your afternoon and your evening. This is a transformational time in your life. We're so proud. I love this convocation because I can sit here and just watch you, many of whom I've seen in the classroom, and I'm just honored. Let's pause and let's thank and honor those whose work without their work, you would not be here. They're all around you today. Give them a round of applause. And I like showing off our faculty, so could you stand one more time so we can see you, and also give them a rousing round of applause. Thank you. No one is prouder of you today than they are. It's amazing. All of you, all of our graduates, are proof that we are here at the University of Massachusetts, Boston, fulfilling our mission to provide an excellent education as this city's great public research university. You're also testaments to your own hard work. Don't let anyone ever take that from you. Your hard work, your commitment, is something that got you here today, along with the support, of course, of all these individuals around you, but also our unbelievable faculty and our unbelievable staff. Each of you is special and accomplished in your own way. I wish I could tell all of your stories. It's amazing for me as chancellor to hear them because I get them from faculty members in the hallway, over emails, over lunch, in the coffee line. And it's amazing. But I want to recognize just a couple of you as representatives of the excellence of your programs and also of your class. Mercy Kamal, who's up here on the stage today as our student speaker, is responsible for cultivating extremely close ties between our College of Nursing and Health Sciences and the hospitals and universities in the region of Kenya, where she was born and where she was raised. Thanks to Mercy, our Kenya Heart and Soul program that allows student nurses to study and treat metabolic diseases in Africa will send its 6th group of students to Kenya in June. This Friday will be Mercy's 3rd commencement. She's set through, this will be the 3rd one she's sitting through here at the University of Massachusetts, Boston, adding a PhD in nursing and health policy to her 2 undergraduate degrees. Congratulations, Mercy. Now, you know we don't let you go. We hope you're going to continue to work with us. We look forward to following you, and another inspiring student with a bright future. Ben, where are you, Ben? Stand up so we can see you. This young man is the recipient of the College of Science and Mathematics Award for Outstanding Achievement in Marine Sciences and Technology. Ben saw a real-world problem, that the water quality and safety at our public beaches is often hard to predict. He designed a model to predict water quality and bacteria levels, and we all know how important that is. He did it so it could happen in real time. And now, Ben's model has been used in the Charles River Basin. I might have to go try to jump in there. Ben, Wollaston Beach, and also our great Boston Harbor, and National Water Monitoring Services are looking at it for long-term use. Ben's thesis represents outstanding research, integrating science, engineering, and policy put to use for the public's greater good. That's what this great university is about. This is what this great student is about. This is what these wonderfully talented individuals are all about. Congratulations, Ben. I'm proud because I could just reach out here and have one or another stand and tell their story, and it would be amazing. And I'm proud of each and every one of you, because your academic achievement on this campus matters. But you know that this is nothing but preparation for a lifetime of contributions in ways that are going to make a difference for so many. And so thank you for that. Thank you for understanding that. Thank you for not just checking in and checking out, but checking out these talented individuals and then going on to make a difference. That's what it's all about. Your research, your scholarship, bring a claim to this university and help to us deliver on our commitment of outreach and our commitment of engagement. Because you chose to continue your studies with us, you had to know that you would be focusing not only inward on your own research, but outward towards initiatives and projects and ideas that will improve our communities and improve our world. You had to know that you would be called on not only to participate in our existing programs, but to spot new opportunities that could be used to engage our neighbors and to engage our neighborhoods. You had to know that you were studying and working in service of others, that your scholarship and outreach would touch the worlds of politics and public policy. the sciences, healthcare, education, management, arts, and culture. And because you have spent time here with us on this campus, you are in position, graduates, holders of advanced degrees, not just to get a job, but to go out and change this world. As Chancellor, I encourage you to do so in a way that uniquely distinguishes you as graduates of the University of Massachusetts, Boston. We are incredibly proud of you. Understand that. You're going to be tired of hearing that. It goes on and on and on. Every time we see you, we're going to tell you how proud we are of you and how honored we are to be your colleagues. We're proud of what you've achieved here at the University of Massachusetts, Boston, and we look forward to hearing about your future successes. I wish each one of you the very best in your continued studies, in your life's work, and in your journeys. Congratulations. 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 And so now, I want to invite my colleague and the provost of this university, who's also Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Winston Langley, to give his greetings to our graduates. Winston, come forward, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon to all. On this occasion, a provost might have much to say, including an elaborate statement about the pride we take and feel in your accomplishments, its meaning to the university, its likely impact on society. After all, one has but to think of the relationship between graduate students and workforce and societies, the family they build, the networks they form, the creative responses they generate, the vision they supply, the taxes they pay, the children they will nurture, the norms they will reinforce or challenge. But I will not, because the Chancellor has taken away all of that. I'll say, neither will I say or seek to review the exemplary achievements amply stated in the distinctions recognized in the program shared with us. This distinction is part of what has defined this cohort, which includes the largest number of doctoral students in the history of the university. We could note in general, however, that we think that you are leaving us with a wealth of preparations, technical, personal, professional, and other, that will help you find your way in the world and to assume positions of leadership. What I wish to share with us are four things. First, that you strive to remember and have it be part of all you do, that everything is connected. And what we do in one sphere, one area of life and living, invariably has bearing and impact on other spheres and other areas. Second, that this connection is not simply a mechanical one. It is organic, functional, and one may even say it is constitutive. There is an ecology of things, an ecology to things. Not ecology as may be defined as a branch of biology, but ecology as a fundamental principle in the relational nature of things. Genetically, you and I are related to every living thing in the universe. Economics is part of that ecology. So is biology, and law, and architecture, and the family, and the corporate structure, and the university systems. Third, within the ecology of things, nothing is fixed or finished. Nothing is fixed or finished. There is no changeless center or unmodifiable condition. And nothing that ever belonged has ever been completely lost. Fourth, this ecology bears on human imagination that early in our common civilization envisioned human unity in a form of a universal city, cosmopolis, where the security and well-being of all human beings is one's joint and common task. It is from this vision we have the idea of the cosmopolitan. Humankind is faced with multiple problems: climate change, ethnic and religious conflicts, preparations for wars of mass destruction, even more terrible than we can dream of, increased social inequality, general stress on the ecosystem itself that affects water, croplands, energy supplies, a distrust for government and public life, and an ever-present threat to the joy of our children. As you leave this university, and if I may take an example from the Chancellor's frequent reminders that you should know that you never really leave, that you're always connected with us. As you leave and assume further your places in life and living, we hope you will all be cosmopolitans, and that the joy of every child is as evoking of your solicitations as if she were your own. Best wishes to you, to your family, friends, and well-wishers. Thank you.
Dean Zahl will now join us with the address.
Thank you. Chancellor Martley, Provost Lani, distinguished faculty, dedicated staff, award-winning graduates, and honorable guests. We are gathered here today to celebrate the great accomplishments of our award-winning masters and doctors, as well as your faculty mentors and fellow graduate students. Tomorrow, 1,130 of our graduate students will officially become one of about 11.6% of the Americans 25 years and over with advanced degrees. 67 of you will be among the 1.9% of all Americans who are doctorates. You are among the most educated citizens of the world. Congratulations. I know that the journey to this point has been quite long, sometimes very exciting and rewarding, and sometimes quite challenging. And each one of you has a moving and inspirational story. You will hear the personal stories of our student speakers shortly. I would also like to share a few others with you. Among our graduates this year, we have Stephen Andrew Campbell, in Latin and classical humanities, a former Marine and National Guardsman, deployed twice to Iraq and once to Afghanistan. Our enormous thanks to Stephen for his outstanding service to this country. One of our graduates, Andrew Boneyard, in public affairs, was recently honored as one of the 29 who shine by the Massachusetts Department of Higher Education in the Massachusetts State House for his extraordinary public service, one for each of the 29 public higher ed institutions in Massachusetts. This is the first time that a graduate student has been selected to represent the best of UMass Boston since the award was established in 2011. Congratulations. We also have William O'Donnell in public affairs, who has been blind since birth, and Marshall, his loyal guide dog, who has attended every single class with him over the last 2 years. As a result, their classmates decided to give Marshall an honorary Master of Science in Public Affairs. They will be the student marshals leading the graduating students from the McCormick Graduate School into our main commencement ceremony tomorrow. We have Niana DeMarco, the book award winner for MA in History, who will be a student in the History PhD program at Yale University in the fall. Congratulations. Another graduate student, already quite well known in his field, Uttam Babu Shrestha in biology, has developed a comprehensive checklist of vesicular plants of India during his graduate study at UMass Boston, published 13 peer-reviewed articles in scholarly journals, including Nature and Science, and received 3 highly competitive research grants. His work has been prominently featured in leading scientific magazines such as Nature and Scientific America, as well as public media such as CBS News, Huffington Post, New York Daily News, China Daily, and many, many others. It is no surprise that he has recently been offered a position of Vice Chancellor's Research Fellow at the University of Southern Queensland in Australia to work on a $15.3 million research program. Indeed, we have a truly outstanding graduating class. We are extremely proud of all of you. Congratulations on your amazing accomplishments. Your graduation also marks a very important milestone in the history of UMass Boston. Our university was established in 1964 as one of the twin pillars of public higher education in Massachusetts, and remains as the only public urban research university in the Boston metropolitan area. It was created, I quote, to provide a quality institution which eventually, like UCLA, may grow to 20,000 or 25,000 students Special emphasis may be placed upon urban studies and certain other programs that would lend uniqueness. Our statement purpose declared, again I quote, "In providing young people equality of opportunity, we have an obligation to see that the opportunity we offer them are indeed equal to the best that the private schools have to offer. Otherwise, equality of opportunity means only that young people of limited means have equal access to something less than the best, and we perpetuate a class system of education. Thus, striving for excellence and ensuring access for all have always been the core mission of our university. Like you, UMass Boston has overcome numerous challenges, smashed the doubts of the skeptics with astonishing accomplishments. It's marching forward with great vitality and unlimited promise. At the age of 50, UMass Boston is still actually a very young institution. Harvard University was established 378 years ago. The first PhD degree in the US was awarded by Yale University in 1861. Nonetheless, step by step and against all odds, UMass Boston is becoming a truly comprehensive and mature university, a community of teachers and scholars engaged in productive knowledge creation and application, teaching and learning, and technological innovations. Like 206 other American research universities, we have outstanding faculty and strong graduate programs, conduct cutting-edge research, and award advanced degrees to the most ambitious, hardest working, and most competent students like you. Yes, students and residents in the Boston area and others to count on UMass Boston as your only gateway for upward mobility also deserve the opportunities to pursue your dreams of becoming leading scholars, productive innovators, and visionary and effective leaders. UMass Boston offered its first master's degrees programs in 1971, and the first doctoral program in environmental science in 1982. With only 3 doctoral programs and about a dozen doctoral degrees awarded in a single discipline, our university was classified by Carnegie Foundation as a master's comprehensive university in 1994, only 20 years ago. We became a doctoral research university in 2000, and a research university with a high research activity in 2010. Along the way, UMass Boston has established a wonderful tradition of breaking new grounds. We launched the second PhD program in gerontology in the US in 1990, which has so far awarded more doctoral degrees than any other program in this field. About a third of its graduates are now professors at other universities to help reshape the relatively new and fast-evolving discipline. We developed the first doctoral program in green chemistry in the world in 2002, the first PhD program in global governance and human security in 2011, the first PhD program in global inclusion and social development in 2013, and the first PhD program in transnational cultural and community studies in 2014. Many of our graduate programs are now among the top-tier programs in the country. Our nursing program is one of the top 3 and the best in a public university in New England. 10 of its faculty members and alumni are elected fellows of the American Academy of Nursing, and 2 other faculty members are elected fellows of the American Academy of Nurse Practitioners. It is indeed a powerhouse. Our external funding has grown 448% from 1994 to 2014, 448%. We currently have over 30 active research grants from the National Institutes of Health, more than the accumulative total during our first 40 years. The total 2012 research and development expenditures was ranked 6th in education, 30th in non-science and engineering fields among all colleges and universities in the US. Think about that, number 6 in the country in education and 30th in non-science and engineering fields. 2013 expenditures accounted for 56% of the entire UMass system in the social sciences, 50% of the entire system in education, and more than 46% in non-science and engineering fields. Our great accomplishments have been achieved through the collective efforts of our outstanding faculty, dedicated staff, and hard-working, fabulous students like you. Among our faculty, we have the Pulitzer Prize winner, Professor Lloyd Schwartz in English, one of America's foremost authorities on Claude Monet and Impressionism, Professor Paul Tucker in art, one of the top 20 most influential people in the nursing field, Professor Jacqueline Fawcett, and the recipient of the world's first and highest honor in sustainability, the Gunnerus Sustainability Gold Medal from the Royal Norwegian Society of Science and Letters, distinguished Professor Kamal Bawa in biology, and John Joseph Moakley Chair, Professor of Peace and Reconciliation in the McCormick Graduate School, Padraig O'Malley, who actually brokered peace around the world with Nelson Mandela. You have probably witnessed or experienced a significant increase of scholarly productivity and a much stronger research culture on our campus in the last few years. The University of Massachusetts Press re-established an office at UMass Boston in 2009. Professor Jeffrey Bird and Professor Frank Carroll, both in gerontology, are now the editors-in-chief of 2 top professional journals in their field. Professor Jonathan Chu in history and Professor Cheryl Nixon in English will take over the roles of editors for the New England Journal published by MIT Press next year. More than 40 books are published by our faculty members every year. Professor Russell Hsu in sociology has just had his 13th book accepted for publication by the Harvard University Press, the second one by this particular press. One of his textbooks will be in its 8th edition. The recent book by Professor Kamal Bawa, Himalaya Mountains of Life, is on the coffee, maybe tea tables of Indian Prime Minister and Dalai Lama. The book by Professor Spencer D. Scala in History, Europe's Long Century, Society, Politics, and Culture, has become the favorite and highly recommended reading of the former Prime Minister of Italy. The list can go on and on. Our noble mission, excellent graduate programs, a stronger research culture, and our reputation as a rising public urban research university has also attracted many other top-notch scholars and rising stars to join us in the last few years. Professor Jill McCaskill came to UMass Boston from the University of Michigan Medical School to become Elton Brand Distinguished Professor and Director of the Center for Personalized Cancer Therapy. And that is a collaborative research enterprise with the Dana-Farber Harvard Cancer Center, the largest and best cancer research centers in the country. And UMass Boston is a part of that. The Commonwealth has so much confidence in her leadership and the collective capability of our team at UMass Boston, and it has allocated $10 million for purchasing instruments for the center. Professor Crystal Schaff, an international well-known expert in remote sensing and global change research, joined our School for the Environment from Boston University. She was recently re-elected to serve on a NASA science team for 4 more years and has been supporting 1 postdoc and 6 doctoral students at UMass Boston with external grants. I should also add, her graduate students are among the highest paid graduate students on this campus. Professor Maria Ivanova in conflict resolution, human security, and global governance received her PhD from Yale University, joined us from the College of William and Mary. Is now a member of the UN Scientific Advisory Board. There are only 26 members on the board from the entire world. UMass Boston has Maria Ivanova representing us. Other superb hires include Elizabeth Sweet, Assistant Professor of Anthropology. She came to UMass Boston with a very competitive NIH grant of $1.9 million. 3 prestigious National Science Foundation Career Award winners, Assistant Professor Jennifer Bowen in biology from Princeton University, Assistant Professor Liam Revel, also in biology from Harvard University, and Assistant Professor Kristen Wendell in curriculum and instruction from Tufts University, as well as Assistant Professor Amy Smith in public policy and public affairs from SUNY Albany, the winner of this year's Graduate Teaching Award from the Northeastern Association of Graduate Schools. We're also very fortunate and thankful for having recruited many top graduate students like you into our graduate programs. In this academic year, at least 4 of our doctoral students have received very competitive external fellowship, including Edward Sant in the School for the Environment, supervised by Professor Crystal Schaff, a recipient of a 3-year NASA Harriet Jenkins predoctoral fellowship. Ashley Bolseco came, also in the School of the Environment, supervised by Professor and Dean Robin Hannigan and Professor Ron Eder in biology, and a recipient of a 3-year Ford Foundation predoctoral fellowship. Jacob karaoke in nursing under the supervision of Professor Eileen Stewart Shaw, a recipient of a 2-year predoctoral fellowship from the American Heart Association. And Melissa May in clinical psychology and supervised by Professor Alice Carter in psychology and Professor Angela Stone McDonald in curriculum and instruction, and a recipient of a 2-year Dennis Weatherstone predoctoral fellowship from Autism Speaks. After enrolling 4 Fulbright students last year, we're expecting at least 6 more to join our PhD program in global governance and human security, and master's programs in conflict resolution and international relations. One of our doctoral students, Joseph Cohen, in computer science, supervised by Professor William, has recently received the Outstanding Paper Award for Young Scientists from the Committee on Space Research of the International Council for Science for his paper published in Advances in Space Research. As you move forward to create a better world, you should also know that some of our earlier award-winning graduates, supervised, mentored by award-winning faculty, have accomplished what many skeptics considered impossible. Dr. Arturno Goins, graduated from our PhD program in gerontology in 1997, became Western Carolina University's first Ambassador Janet Hyde Distinguished Professor of Gerontological Social Work. Dr. Bei Wu, another graduate of our PhD in gerontology in 2000, is now a Distinguished Professor of Medicine at Duke University. Dr. Kelly Fitzgerald also came out of the UMass Boston Cradle of Stars, another graduate of our PhD program in gerontology in 2008, was elected exactly 1 month ago in Geneva to serve as the Vice Chair of the United Nations NGO Committee on Aging, representing the International Federation on Aging. Dr. Andrew Hardison, a graduate of our PhD program in environmental science in 1993, has been the head of Water Ocean Governance Program of the United Nations for many years. Dr. Anne Gross, a graduate of our PhD program in nursing, currently serves as Vice President for Adult Nursing and Clinical Services at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. Paul English, a graduate of our bachelor's and master's programs in computer science, served as the Vice President of Technology of Intuit. If you file tax, you use their product. Chief Technology Officer and co-founder of Kayak.com. If you traveled, you know who that is, which actually was sold to Priceline.com for $1.8 billion in 2012. Is now the CEO and co-founder of a new company called Blade, and teaches entrepreneurship at MIT Sloan School of Management. Our distinguished alumni also include Thomas Menino, the longest-serving and most popular mayor of our city, William Bratton, the former chief of police of Los Angeles and police commissioner of Boston, and the former and also current police commissioner of New York City. And of course, we also have Gina McCarthy, the current administrator of U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. So you have many wonderful role models. Please follow their footsteps or break your own path. Dream the impossible and create new miracles. We wish you all the very best. I look forward to hearing your success stories. Thank you. Provost Nani, it is now my great pleasure to present the candidates for doctoral degree. The candidates will be presented by college, while Felicia Welzinski, Dean of the College of Education and Human Development, please come forward to present the 2 candidates for the doctoral philosophy degree and 16 candidates for the doctoral of education degree.
Thank you. It's my pleasure and honor to present our doctoral candidates. Our first candidate, Lori Jean Broder, Education and Leadership in Urban Schools. Her dissertation was entitled Knowledge, Identity, and Professionalism, a Grounded Theory Analysis of How Urban Career Teachers Navigate Their Professional Lives. She's being hooded by Professor Tricia Kress. Congratulations. Our next candidate, Malcolm J. Bryant, also a student in Education and Leadership in Urban Schools. His dissertation, Multicultural Education and Teachers' Perceptions of and Intended Responses to Students' Behavior, being hooded by his major professor, Joseph Jett. Receiving a PhD in higher education, Anne-Marie D. Filippo. Her dissertation was entitled Prime Time in the Academy, Factors Critical to Sustaining Mid-Career Faculty Vitality. She's being hooded by Professor Dwight Giles. Next, Rhonda Gabovich, receiving a degree in higher education. Her dissertation was entitled Institutional Conditions to Improve the Educational Outcomes of Part-Time Community College Students. She's being hooded by Professor Judith Gill. Janet Gumbris, also a student in higher education, with a dissertation entitled A Comparative Analysis of Transfer Students and Native Students' Perceptions of Their Higher Education Environment at 2 public 4-year institutions. She's being hooded by Professor Tara Parker. Next, Thomas King, who's in educational leadership in urban schools. His dissertation was How 11 Boston Transitional Bilingual Teachers Implemented and Resisted Sheltered English Immersion following a ballot initiative eliminating bilingual education in Massachusetts. It's being hooded. It's being hooded by Professor Joe Check. Next, Life Ligueros in Leadership in Urban Schools. His dissertation, The Association Between Elementary Teacher Licensure Test Scores and Student Growth in Mathematics, an analysis of Massachusetts MTEL and MCAS tests. And he's being hooded by Professor Jack Leonard. Next, Gloria Lopez, a student in higher education. Her dissertation, Palante, Toward the Presidency, Understanding Factors That Facilitate Latino Leadership in Higher Education, being hooded by Professor Tara Parker. Wellesley Paul Manade, also in Leadership in Urban Schools. His dissertation, entitled The Influence of No Child Left Behind on the Leadership of Elementary School Principals in Massachusetts, Highlights of Responses from Asian American Principals, being hooded by Professor Peter Kiang. Next, Matthew Arlen McLean. In Leadership in Urban Schools, his dissertation, True, She Has the Culture You Need. A white teacher in an urban school critically reflects on the hidden social and academic curriculum, being hooded by Professor Tricia Kress. Next, Wanda Montanez in higher education. Her dissertation, The Role of Identity Development in Multi-Ethnic Latino Students' Sense of Belonging in College. Being hooded by Professor Catalin Says-Lenny. Next, Catherine Elizabeth Petta in Leadership in Urban Schools. Her dissertation, Working to Sustain Change, an examination of teacher leadership and its role in promoting organizational learning in urban turnaround schools, being hooded by Professor Jack Leonard. Next, Christina Porter in Leadership in Urban Schools. Her dissertation, Honoring Counter Stories, Utilizing Digital Storytelling in the Culturally Responsive Classroom to Investigate the Community, Cultural Wealth, and Resiliency of Students with Limited or Interrupted Formal Education, being hooded by Professor Tricia Kress. Next, Milton Santiago Rodriguez in higher education. His dissertation, Transfer Programs at Hispanic Serving Institution, a study of inter-organizational collaboration, being hooded by Professor Glenn Gabbard. Next, Colin Christopher Rose in Leadership in Urban Schools. His dissertation, Does Increased Family Income Reduce Fade Out of Preschool Gains? Being hooded by Professor Jack Leonard. Got it. Next, receiving a PhD in higher education, Tamara Allison Von George. Her dissertation, Student Organizations as a Venue for Cross-Racial Interaction, being hooded by Professor Catalin Sesleni. Next, Melissa Winchell, also Leadership in Urban Schools. Her dissertation, Reconceptualizing Cultural Competence, White Placeling De-Re-Territorialization Within Teacher Education, being hooded by Professor Tricia Kress. And in higher education, Cynthia Zaft. Her dissertation, State Directors of Adult Education, Leadership in a Changing Policy Environment, being hooded by Professor Glenn Gabbard. Thank you, and congratulations to our graduates.
Will Emily McDermott, Dean of the College of Liberal Arts, please come forward to present the 6 candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy degree.
I'm happy to present 6 candidates for the PhD in clinical psychology. Would Devin G. Atala come to the podium, please? Dissertation title, Palestinian Refugee Family Trees of Resilience, Intergenerational Cultivation of Resistance, Return, and Perseverance in Response to Israel State Violence and Occupation. He will be hooded by Professor Esther Shapiro. Jessica Rose Graham of Clinical Psychology. Her dissertation title is Racism and Anxiety in a Black American Sample, the Role of Mediators and a Brief Mindfulness Manipulation. She will be hooded by Professor Elizabeth Romer. Alta Olivia Gray from Clinical Psychology. Her dissertation title is The Role of Caregiver Insight in Young Children's Violence Exposure, Testing a Relational Model of Risk and Resilience. She will be hooded by Professor Alice Carter. Sarah D. Rosenblum-Fishman from Clinical Psychology. Her dissertation title is Maternal Self-Efficacy and Perceived Stigma Among Mothers of Children with ASD, ADHD, and Typically Developing Children. She'll be hooded by Professor Laurel Wainwright. John Tawa from Clinical Psychology. His dissertation title is The Influences of Social Identities and Resource Competition on Blacks and Asians' Social Distance, a Virtual World Method. He will be hooded by Professor Karen Tsuyamoto. Specialty Walker, Clinical Psychology. Her dissertation title is Black Beauty, White Standards, Impacts on Black Women and Resources for Resistance and Resilience. She will be hooded by Professor Esther Shapiro. Congratulations to the CLA graduates and their mentors.
Well, Anna Hayda Kowicki, Dean of the College of Nursing and Health Sciences, please come forward to present the two candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy degree and 8 candidates for the Doctor of Nursing Practice degree.
It is my pleasure to introduce to you the graduates of the College of Nursing and Health Sciences program. Our first graduate is Michael Jack Costello, Nursing Practice. Capstone title, Implementation of Standardized Screening for Obstructive Sleep Apnea in a Rehabilitation Hospital Setting, hooded by Professor Eileen Stewart-Shore. Next, Faith Rohr Harrington, Nursing Practice, capstone title, Implementation of a Primary Care-Based Transitional Care Program to Reduce Preventable Hospital Readmissions, hooded by Professor Terry Butero. Danielle M. Hibbert, Nursing Practice, capstone title, Implementation of Multi-Strategy Interprofessional Collaboration Initiative for Physicians and Nurse Practitioners in Primary Care, hooded by Professor Margaret McAllister. Mercy Wanjinku Kamau, Nursing Health Policy. Dissertation title, Cardiovascular Disease Behavioral Risk Factors in Select Countries of Sub-Saharan Africa, an inter-country comparative study from a cross-sectional population-based survey, hooded by Professor Eileen Stewart-Shore. Margaret A. Morley, Nursing Practice, capstone title, Implementation of a Streamlined TAVR Patient Screening Protocol in a Community Hospital, hooded by Professor Eileen Stewart-Shore. Where are you? Nancy F. Phillips, Nursing Practice, capstone title, Improving Care of Individuals with Limited English Proficiency and Depression in the Primary Care Setting, hooded by Professor Margaret McAllister. Kimberly P. Rogers, Nursing Practice, capstone title, Implementation of a Technology-Based Education Intervention to Improve Condom Compliance in Adolescent Girls, hooded by Professor Margaret McAllister. Kristen Roper, Nursing Health Policy, dissertation title, Individual Disease and Work-Related Factors Associated with Work Patterns, Presenteeism and Sick Pay Policy of the Colorectal Cancer Survivor After Treatment, hooded by Professor Jacqueline Fawcett. Carrie Pimentel Taviera, Nursing Practice, capstone title, Improving Communication Among Healthcare Providers in a Hospital Setting, hooded by Professor Margaret McAllister. Christy Lee Woods, Nursing Practice, capstone title, Immunotherapy to Improve Symptoms of Perineal Allergic Rhinitis in the Primary Care Setting, hooded by Professor Margaret McAllister. Congratulations, graduates of College of Nursing and Health Sciences.
Will Andrew Grosowski, Dean of the College of Science and Mathematics, please come forward to present the 12 candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy degree.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure and an honor for me to be here today and present these wonderful doctoral recipients from CSM. And we begin with Mohammed Abdulrada Al-Shawaf, who is from the School for the Environment and whose dissertation is entitled Impacts of U.S. Biofuels Mandates on Environmental and Energy Security, hooded by Professor Robin Hannigan. Excellent. Saima Anjum from the Biology Department, Molecular, Cellular, and Organismal Biology, whose dissertation is entitled Regulation of Toll Signaling and Inflammation by Beta-Arrestin and the Sumo Protease ULP1, hooded by Professor Linda Huang. Christoph Diaz from the Department of Biology, Molecular, Cellular, and Organismal Biology, whose dissertation is entitled A Novel Kinesin, Arabidopsis thaliana centromere-associated protein E2, is necessary for the progression of mitosis and meiosis, hooded by Professor Adan Colon Carmona. Christopher Mayo from the School for the Environment. Dissertation is titled Deciphering the Drivers of Coastal Evolution Over Multiple Spatial and Temporal Scales, Massachusetts, USA, hooded by Professor Alan Gons. Emily Parody from the Department of Biology, Molecular, Cellular, and Organismal Biology. Dissertation title is The Regulation of Prospore Membrane Shape in Saccharomyces cerevisiae, and the hooding is by Professor Linda Huang. Dan Pleta from Computer Science. The dissertation is entitled Efficient Mining Algorithms in Engineering, hooded by Professor Dan Simovich. Christian Slabowski from the Department of Biology, Molecular, Cellular, and Organismal Biology. The GCK3 kinase, SBS1, and the 14,3,3 isoforms, BMH1 and BMH2, cooperate to ensure proper sporulation in Saccharomyces cerevisiae, hooded by Professor Linda Huang. Eric Freeberg from the School for the Environment. The dissertation title is Exploring the Link Between Otolith Growth and Function Along the Biological Continuum in the Context of Ocean Acidification, hooded by Professor Robin Hannigan. Asha Kadam from the Department of Chemistry, the Green Chemistry Program, Green Techniques to Improve Grignard Reactions and Synthesize Heterocyclic Molecules, hooded by Professor Wei Zhang. Jeremy Williams from the School for the Environment. Dissertation is titled Black Shales of the Neotethys, the Geochemical Record of the End-Permian Crisis, hooded by Professor Robin Hannigan. Yang or Yang? Lan Yang, Department of Chemistry, Physical and Analytical Chemistry. Dissertation is entitled Quantitative Mass Spectrometry Analysis for Pharmaceutical Applications, hooded by Professor Jason Evans. Yun Yang from the School for the Environment. Dissertation is entitled Studying Soil Moisture and Land-to-Water Carbon Export in Urbanized Coastal Areas using remotely sensed data and a regional hydroecological model, hooded by Professor Crystal Schaff.
Well, Ira Jackson, Dean of the McCormick Graduate School of Policy and Global Studies, please come forward to present the 10 candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy degree.
Chancellor Motley, Provost Langley, Vice Provost Jha, as Dean of the John W. McCormick Graduate School of Policy and Global Studies, I am extremely proud to present to you a record 10 candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy degree, beginning with Carolyn Louise Arcand, Public Policy. Dissertation title, Weighing the Benefits and Risks Associated with Proprietary School Attendance for Low-Income Single Mother Students, hooded by Professors Amy Smith and Randy Albelda. There you go. Congratulations to you. Caitlin E. Coyle, Gerontology. Dissertation title, Loneliness, Isolation, Hypertension. The effects of loneliness and social isolation on hypertension in later life, including risk diagnosis and management of the chronic condition, hooded by Professor Jan Muchler. Caitlin, congratulations, Doctor. Jennifer Douglas, Public Policy. Dissertation title, Producing Space, Block by Block Change in a Gentrifying Neighborhood, hooded by Professor Ann Withorn. Dr. Douglas. Rachel Bogardus Drew, Public Policy. Dissertation title, Constructing the American Dream, How Beliefs Influence Decisions About Home Ownership, hooded by Professor Michael Johnson. Dr. Drew. Deborah A. Gray, Gerontology. Dissertation title, Patterns of Dissaving Among U.S. Elders, hooded by Professor Jeffrey Burr. Dr. Gray. Ji-Young Yu, Gerontology. Dissertation title, The Impact of Childhood SES on Decline in Cognition Among Older Adults, hooded by Professor Jeffrey Burr. Dr. Yu, congratulations. Howard Payton, Public Policy. Dissertation title, an analysis of the influence of the supervisory agency in determining Community Reinvestment Act performance evaluation grades, hooded by Professor Randy Albelda. There we go. Dr. Payton, congratulations. Thank you. Judith Liani Pui, Gerontology. Dissertation title, The Social Environment, APOE E4, and Dementia, the Social Environment as a Moderating Factor Among Individuals Genetically Predisposed to Develop Dementia, hooded by Professor Jeffrey Burr. Dr. Cohen, congratulations to you. Felicia Mary Sullivan, Public Policy. Dissertation title, Engaging Youth, Linking Design and Implementation Choices of Out-of-School Time Programs in Boston to the Development of Political Engagement Attitudes in Youth Age 14 to 18, hooded by Professor Donna Haig Friedman. Dr. Sullivan?
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Ghazal Mir Zulfikar, Public Policy. Dissertation title, Microfinance, a tool for financial access, poverty alleviation, or gender empowerment, empirical findings from Pakistan, hooded by Professor Christian Weller. Congratulations, Doctor.
Will all doctoral candidates please rise? Chancellor Motley, Chancellor Motley, Provost Lani, I present to you the 8 candidates for the Doctor of Nursing Practice degree, the 16 candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy degree, and 32 candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy degree.
As recommended by the faculty of the University of Massachusetts, Boston, it is my honor to confer upon you the hood of Doctor of Education, Doctor of Nursing Practice, or Doctor of Philosophy. Congratulations. And I welcome you to the Fellowship of Scholars as your faculty's colleagues and peers. Will the doctoral candidates please turn and face the audience and give a round of applause to family, friends, faculty who have helped you here today. tomorrow you face Chancellor Motley.
Some days I get the best jobs. Today, it is my pleasure to introduce our first student speaker, Mercy Kamau. Mercy is graduating with a PhD in nursing and health policy. Mercy was born in Kenya and relocated to the United States to pursue education. She graduated from UMass Boston in 2003 with a Bachelor of Science in Management Science and Information Systems. She returned shortly after that for a Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree in 2007. As an undergraduate nursing student, she served as a founder and president of the nonprofit organization Health for Nations, a health promotion initiative that recruits health professionals who volunteer to travel to Kenya and perform cardiovascular, metabolic health promotion projects. Since then, Mercy has been instrumental in developing the critical community linkages between UMass Boston and the Kenyan community, and in assuring that the project reflects the spirit of community-based participatory research and appropriate cross-cultural care. She has been recognized for her work in Kenya, including being a College of Nursing and Health Sciences nominee for the JFK Award in 2008, and she also received a humanitarian award for her work with Health for Nations and the Kenya Heart and Soul Project. Welcome, Mercy.
Good afternoon. First, I would like to thank our beloved and outstanding Chancellor Motley, our Provost Langley, faculty, staff, fellow graduates, and our esteemed guests. My name is Mercy Kamau, born and raised in a small village called Kigumo in Kenya, by wonderful parents, late Reverend Samuel Kamau and Mrs. Mary Kamau. I am the seventh born and the last born in my family, with 3 brothers and 3 sisters. I wanted to envision a small, curious girl looking around to see the world, but being too small, this little girl could only see a few things in her eye level. Then a big, tall giant came and picked up the little girl and put her on his tall shoulders. And all of a sudden, this little girl could see the world. She saw farther and beyond what she could have ever imagined. That little girl is me. If I have seen farther, it is by standing on shoulders of giants, a quote by Isaac Newton. Today I stand before you, totally humbled by the privilege of being the Convocation speaker this year, and humbled by the journey it has taken for me to be here today. I proudly dedicate my PhD degree to the giants in my life who have made this possible. They have made it possible for me to see farther, and they have made it possible for me to be here today. I had a very simple upbringing in Kenya. No running water, no electricity. I went to school every day without shoes. Despite this, I was blessed with parents who valued and emphasized to us the value of education. In fact, my parents always told us and made it very clear that education was our only way out of poverty. I come from a culture of inheritance, but since we only owned a very small piece of land, often my parents would tell us that they didn't have anything to leave behind for us, but the little money that they had, they decided to use it on our education with the hopes that one day we will get good jobs, get good incomes, and be able to buy for ourselves land and whatever else we wanted. My parents always told me that I was born for greatness, and I believed it. They told me that I could be anything that I want. My brothers and sisters have gone to college. Some have bachelor's degrees, others have master's degrees. And they often challenged me that being the last born, I had to do better than them. So when I finished high school, I told them I wanted to come to the US for my university. And my parents and brothers and sisters contributed money to buy my air ticket and for my tuition to come to the US. If I have seen further, it is by standing on shoulders of giants. My parents and my brothers and sisters are my earliest giants. Although, Thank you. And some of my family members are here, so some of my giants are here. Thank you. Although I grew up in a poor village and a poor country, my village and my country instilled values in me that I cherish and that keep me grounded. There is an African saying that it takes a village to raise a child. This is evident in me. I am who I am today because of the foundation I got growing up, because of the many women and men in my village who corrected me when they saw me doing something wrong. Many people in my village came to my fundraiser that my family had organized to raise my tuition to come to the US. They gave all they could, despite the fact that they did not have much to begin with. If I have seen further, it is by standing on shoulders of giants. My village and my country, Kenya, are also my earliest giants. I came to UMass Boston 14 years ago, and wow, UMass Boston has challenged my thinking, and I have discovered a new me. I graduated in 2003 with a Bachelor in Management, Science and Information System. And in 2007, I graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. And today, a PhD in Nursing and Health Policy. All the faculty, members, staff, and students at UMass Boston are excellent. UMass Boston is truly an urban university with a global mission. Look around you and see how diverse we are. During my time at UMass Boston, I have met so many wonderful people from many different backgrounds, states, countries, continents. There are so many countries represented in UMass Boston. UMass Boston could actually be called the University of United Nations. If I have seen further, it is by standing on shoulders of giants. UMass Boston became another giant in my life. Remember the little girl who was standing on shoulders of a giant? Although that little girl saw a beautiful world, she also saw some challenges and problems in the world. She saw people dying of unnecessary diseases, poverty, fighting, hatred, racism, and so on. Some of the people dying of unnecessary diseases were the same men and women who came to my fundraiser to raise money for me to come to the US. So it was clear to me that I had to do something to help. Therefore, while at UMass Boston, on my second semester in nursing school, I founded a nonprofit organization called Health for Nations, a health promotion initiative that recruits health professionals who volunteer to travel to Kenya every year and perform cardiovascular and metabolic health promotion called the Afya Njema Project, meaning the Good Health Project in Swahili. It is during this time that I met a giant who will always remain at the top of my list, my professor, mentor, and co-partner in the Kenya Heart and Soul, Dr. Stuart Shaw. Right there. That's right. Dr. Eileen Stewart Shaw saw potential in me to excel. She has brought strengths and capabilities in me I didn't even know I had. She challenged me in ways that have given me a thirst for learning and thinking creatively, not only about the problems that we face, but more importantly, about the solutions to the problems facing our patients, national and global health. Together with the support we have received from UMass Boston administration, especially the Chancellor and the Provost, and the College of Nursing and Health Sciences, faculty, students, and other supporters, we have been able to go to Kenya with a team of health professionals each year since the year 2006. We have treated thousands of people, have conducted reliable research, credible enough to influence health policies in Kenya. All this is evident that UMass Boston is an urban university with a global mission. If I have seen further, it is by standing on shoulders of giants. Dr. Eileen Stewart Shaw is my outstanding giant. Thank you. Thank you. And now to my fellow graduates, Once again, congratulations. I am sure you all have stories to tell, one of challenges, opportunities, and hope. I know you all have your giants, and together, we thank our giants. But guess what? As of right now, right this minute, we are the new giants. We are who the world looks up to. Whose giant will you be? The world awaits to stand on our shoulders. And you know how they used to tell us that we are the leaders of tomorrow? Tomorrow has come. We are now the leaders. We have to raise up to the challenges of today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And what will our legacy be? Really, what will our legacy be? According to the 2004 US Census, only 5.6% of the US population hold a master's degree, and only 1.1% of the US population have a PhD. We are so privileged, my dear graduates, to belong to such a small group of advanced degree holders that we must have a legacy. We have an obligation to make a difference in the world. To whom much is given, much is required. We have to find a way to give back. Better yet, to pay it forward to our communities, our countries, and to the world. What will our legacy be? Let it be of global health. Healthy individuals living in healthy communities, healthy countries, and in a healthy planet. Over the last several years, during my work in the Roxbury Heart and Soul program, an initiative by Dr. Eileen Stewart Shaw to provide cardiovascular health care to underserved population, especially African Americans in the Roxbury area. I have learned firsthand that the same challenges faced by developing countries have much in common with the challenges faced by underserved communities right here in the US. Think about the disparities in health, education attainment, income equality, job opportunities that exist here in the US. Together, we can be the leaders in solving these disparities. As I said, it takes a village, and we are now the global village elders. Martin Luther King challenged us when he said, of all the forms of inequality, injustice in healthcare is the most shocking and inhumane. As I look at the degrees being awarded today, we have so many different disciplines represented here today. Together, we can solve the challenges in health around the corner and around the globe. Among us are nurses, psychologists, gerontologists who will develop evidence-based, locally and culturally tailored prevention and treatment interventions for underserved populations so that we can improve both quality and quantity of life for all. When it comes to health, one size does not fit all. Our health policies must specifically target the health disparities we face today so that we can achieve good health outcomes. We have chemists, biologists, and computer scientists, the next generation who will design medical technologies and discover cure for cancer, cardiovascular disease, and HIV and AIDS. We have educators who will tackle illiteracy. Improving educational opportunities for all will make significant contribution to improving health outcomes. We have businessmen and women who will create a thriving economy amongst the world disadvantaged. Good education is equals to good job, equals to good job opportunities, good income, good health, and all these lead to a robust health economy, a healthy economy that we need. We have policymakers specializing in global governance, human security, environmental sustainability. Among us are future senators, ambassadors, presidents even, leaders of NGOs and policy think tanks. Those leaders will facilitate a way for us to live in peace, love, and unity despite our differences, who will ensure we implement health policies that will make us all a healthy globe. Taken collectively, among us, my fellow graduates, we have the knowledge and the skills to make a difference. But do we have the will to do it? Do we have the will to make a difference? I would suggest that the education and the mentoring we have received right here at UMass Boston has provided us with more than education and skill. It has fueled within us the passionate desire to make a difference in the world, especially for underrepresented populations. My dear graduating class, I ask you again, what will our legacy be? Will our legacy be that we tackled the inequalities in health in our countries and in the globe? What will our generation achieve? Will those who come behind us find us faithful with what we've been given? Whose giant will you be? The possibilities are endless. Thank you.
It is now my similar pleasure to introduce our second student speaker, Penelope McDonald. Penelope exemplifies the best of our master's students. She is a model of how the English master's program can both engage graduate students in intellectually demanding studies at the same time that it promotes the kind of invaluable service contributions she has made, all the while maintaining an exceedingly high GPA. She too was an undergrad at UMass Boston. Do you see a theme here? As a master's student, Penelope has continued her dedication to serving others in the UMass Boston community that characterized her undergraduate career here. The ESL program in particular has benefited immeasurably from her ongoing work with teachers and students alike. The teachers with whom she has collaborated and the students with whom she has worked have spoken about her invaluable contributions to students' progress. Welcome, Penelope.
Hi, I'm not nervous at all, but congratulations to all of you, and thank you so much for having me here. So, despite my master's degree in English, I'm finding it difficult to sum up in about 8 minutes what has amounted to 2 life-changing years in the University of Massachusetts, Boston, Master of Arts program in Literature. When I started this program, I thought it was merely a stepping stone to a PhD, like all of you. But over the past 2 years, my experiences in the classroom and close interactions with our student body have profoundly altered my life's trajectory. When I first transferred to UMass Boston from UMass Dartmouth as an undergraduate, I planned on only staying a semester. However, in the fall of 2008, I took Professor Vivian Zamel's honors seminar class, Immigration Through Film and Literature, where she was looking for tutors for the English as a Second Language program. When I started tutoring for the ESL program, all notions of leaving UMass Boston after 1 semester were abandoned. I really loved working within the ESL program, but I thought that my career path would bring me to law school, where I hoped to become an immigration lawyer. Yet a year later, and already finishing up applications for law school, I found the thought of not teaching anymore unsettling. Despite the rewarding and glorious process of applying to law school and gaining quite a few gray hairs in the process, I found myself drawn back to UMass Boston, in part because of its commitment to urban public education. And I had missed the students that I tutored in the ESL program, and I had missed being a teacher for first-generation college students during the summer through UMB's Direction for Student Potential program, directed by Polly Welsh. I had spent my entire undergraduate career dedicated to teaching and learning, but I still felt as if I had more to do. More I could learn from my students, and more I could offer as a teacher. And I knew that applying to UMass Boston's graduate program in English would not only give me the tools to become a teacher, but that I would be given another chance to learn and be educated by some of the greatest faculty here. What I didn't plan on was what a truly amazing experience this graduate program would be. When I entered the program, I was welcomed back by Professor Zamel and Polly Welsh as both a tutor for the ESL program and co-teacher for DSP. In addition to applying to the MA program in English, I also applied to their teaching apprenticeship, and where for the first year you shadow a professor in the department as their assistant and then apply to teach your own class focused in either literature or composition. I shadowed 2 extraordinary professors my first year, Dr. Emilio Sori and Dr. Nancy Finn, and I learned a great deal from them, but needless to say, as I'm sure you all know, as prepared as I was, or at least thought I was, nothing can prepare someone for teaching their own class. I was nervous about my performance in the classroom and what my own teaching style would be. However, I became reassured that my students were learning about the art of literature in the classroom when I started to hear their comments in class and read their papers and assignments that they submitted. It was one of the most rewarding experiences to see that students were embracing something I cared about so much. And I was also reassured about my teaching style when a student came up to me after class and said, "Yo, professor, you're mad funny." It's of course my first concern that students are learning. It was an extraordinary feeling when I knew that students were actually enjoying my class, but what was even better is that they thought I was funny. I had been given the opportunity to teach a class full of eager and diverse learners, just as I was at one point at UMB. And it was a moment where I realized that my education and experience as a student had come full circle. As teaching apprentices, we were placed in a unique position of being both student and teacher at the same time. We were taking our own full course load of graduate classes while creating lesson plans, syllabi, assignments, and grading student papers. It can be tricky to navigate the balanced time spent in the grad lounge venting to each other about all the work I had to do for professors and the woes of a graduate student, and then 10 minutes later grabbing a blazer, because a blazer means that you're a professor, as most of you know, and go assign your own students the same amount of work and rating. However, under the guidance of Dr. Alex Mueller, our teaching cohort, made up of myself and 5 other students, were given the opportunity to meet with each other, where we were able to discuss our strategies and experiences in the classroom. I bring up the curriculum of the internship because of its focus on education. As teachers in any major setting, we are tasked with educating our students, but what I have come to realize is that I was not only being taught by Dr. Mueller's invaluable experience as an educator, I was also being taught by my students. Every day I entered my classroom, and every time I sat down to read my students' work, I was learning. My students were shaping me and changing my thoughts and ideas about literature and about teaching. These graduate programs at UMB are truly dedicated to this kind of collaborative learning experience. And I knew I had made the right decision to come back home, back to UMass Boston, where I was given the chance to learn what it means to be educated and to educate someone else. I've been a student for quite some time, as everybody in this room who's graduating has, considering the years that it takes to get these degrees. I knew what it meant to be a student, but I learned what it meant to be a teacher. While there are distinct differences between the two, and the responsibilities are varied, the two are interrelated. The role of a teacher is to help educate the students. However, the teacher needs to be willing to learn from and be educated by those students, and the two cannot succeed without each other. The process of learning and gaining experience never ends as a teacher and student, and essentially what I continue to reflect upon is the fact that while the students are learning how to be students, I too am learning from their perspectives and learning how to be a teacher. This kind of recognition and realization that the classroom is a place for shared learning allowed me to better serve my students and myself. For me, my experience in the master's program demonstrated that UMB is committed to shaping students who can use what they have learned from each program and apply it to their own fields in areas of teaching and learning. I'd like to thank Cheryl Nixon, Betsy Klima-Smith, Alex Mueller, Vivian Zamel, and Nancy Finn, as well as all the other faculty in each program for creating a graduate program such as this and allowing me to be a part of it. Thank you to my fellow classmates for such a great experience, and a huge thank you to my mom and dad for supporting me through my education, which has been my entire life, pretty much. So, congratulations to all of you for all your hard work as students and teachers, and hopefully we can take what we have gained from these graduate programs and continue to grow and learn, both as students and teachers. Thanks.
Moving right along. It is now my great pleasure and honor to present the recipients of academic honors in our graduate programs. These awards will be conferred by the deans, directors, and representatives of our graduate units. Individual programs, this is just like the Oscars, may have additional awards that have been awarded at other events. Many of these are also noted in the program. Will Philip DeSalvo, Dean of the College of Advancing and Professional Studies, please come to the stage? The award for academic excellence in instructional design is awarded to Michael Andrew Sullivan and is presented by Judith Erdman. Will Felicia Wilzensky, Dean of the College of Education and Human Development, please come to the stage? The award for Outstanding Achievement in Mental Health Counseling is awarded to Aaron Murtaugh and is presented by Professor Boaz Levy. The award for Outstanding Achievement in School Counseling is awarded to Elizabeth Adebio and is presented by Professor Bob Gracia. The award for Outstanding Achievement in School Psychology is awarded to Kate Taylor and is presented by Professor Terry Bontrager. The Vincent Christini Award for Leadership in School Psychology is awarded to Samantha Leaney and is presented by Terry Bontrager. The Vincent Christini Award for Applied Scholarship is awarded to Noel Allard and is presented by Terry Bontrager. The award for Excellent Academic Performance in Special Education is awarded to Stephanie Hoyt and is presented by Professor Lucia Lowe. The award for Excellence in Learning, Teaching, and Educational Transformation is awarded to Dana Burke and is presented by Professor Mary Brady. The Teacher Education Program Award for Excellence in Early Childhood Education is awarded to Sorrel Kelly and is presented by Professor Angela Stone McDonald. The Teacher Education Program Award for Excellence in Elementary Education is awarded to Carolyn Burkhardt and is presented by Professor Patricia Paugh. The Teacher Education Program Award for Excellence in Middle Secondary Education is awarded to Donica Nakia Harizi and is presented by Professor Jana Kellinger. Will Emily McDermott, Dean of the College of Liberal Arts, please come to the stage? The award for Academic Excellence in American Studies is awarded to Ashley Brewer and is presented by Professor Jeffrey Melnick. The Clinical Psychology Book Award is awarded to Victoria Choate Hassler and is presented by Professor Karen Ciamoto. The Maxwell J. Schleifer Memorial Prize is awarded to Laura Grace Rollins and is presented by Professor Tiffany Donaldson. The award for academic excellence in applied economics is awarded to Fernando Cabral Medeiros and is presented by Professor Randy Albelda. The Creative Writing Award for Outstanding Achievement is awarded to Drew Arnold and is presented by Professor Jill McDonough. The English Program Award for Outstanding Achievement is awarded to Robert Collins and is presented by Professor Betsy Klingesmith. The Anne E. Berthoff Prize for Excellence in Composition Studies is awarded to Jacob Burke and is presented by Professor Betsy Klingesmith. The David A. Kennedy Prize for Outstanding Work in the Field of Poetry is awarded to Amna Yagmor and is presented by Betsy Klimesmith. The Alvin S. Ryan Award for Best Literature Paper is awarded to Robert Collins and is presented by Betsy Klimesmith. The Robert Crosley Award is awarded to Kyle Chalker and is presented by Betsy Klimesmith. The History Program Book Award for Excellence is awarded to Leanna DeMarco and is presented by Professors Paul Bookbinder and Converi Valencius. Nice. The award for academic excellence in Latin and classical studies is awarded to Gregory P. Stringer and is presented by Professor Jacqueline Carlin. The award for academic excellence in applied sociology is awarded to Lauren Harris and is presented by Professor Russell Shute. The James E. Blackwell Prize in Applied Sociology is awarded to Christina Arua Brinkerhoff and is presented by Russell Shute. Will Maureen Scully, Dean of the College of Management, please come to the stage? The Masters of Science Award for Academic Excellence in Accounting is awarded to Ronald Doe and is presented by Professor David Levy. The Masters of Science in Finance Award for Academic Excellence is awarded to Deepak Bidiva and is presented by Professor David Levy. The Masters of Science in Information Technology Award for Academic Excellence is awarded to Vanu Kumar Gajala and is presented by Professor David Levy. Will Anahid Kowicki, Dean of the College of Nursing and Health Sciences, please come to the stage? The Master of Science Award for Academic Excellence in Nursing is awarded to September Lee Wallingford and is presented by Professor Amy Rex Smith. The Doctor of Philosophy Award for Academic Excellence in Nursing is awarded to Kristen Roper and is presented by Professor Jacqueline Fawcett. The Doctor of Nurse Practitioner Award for Academic Excellence in Nursing is awarded to Daniel Michelle Herbert and is presented by Professor Margaret McAllister. Will Anna Madison, Dean of the College of Public and Community Service, please come to the stage? The award for Outstanding Achievement in Human Services is awarded to Bethany Johanna Verano and is presented by Professor Sylvia Mignon. Will Andrews Gazowski, Dean of the College of Science and Mathematics, please come to the stage? The Bettina Harrison Award for Outstanding Teaching in Biology is awarded to Yi Si Lee and is presented by Professor Linda Wang. What would you like me to do? Okay, next one. Moving on. Got it. The award for Outstanding Achievement in Molecular, Cellular, and Organism Biology is awarded to Emily Margaret Perotti and is presented by Professor Linda Wang. The Chemistry Master's Program Award for Outstanding Achievement is awarded to Sarah Shosterez and is presented by Professor Jason Evans. The Chemistry Doctoral Program Award for Outstanding Achievement is awarded to Lan Yang and is presented by Professor Jason Evans. The Master of Science Award for Outstanding Achievement in Environmental Sciences is awarded to Jared Powell and is presented by Professor John Duff. The Doctoral Award for Outstanding Achievement in Environmental Sciences is awarded to Eric Wilcox Freebird and is presented by Professor John Duff. The award for Outstanding Achievement in Marine Sciences and Technology is awarded to Benjamin Wetherill and is presented by Professor Robert Chen. The Applied Physics Program Award for Excellence is awarded to Yu Lee and is presented by Professor Stevens Arneson. Will Ira Jackson, Dean of the McCormick Graduate School of Policy and Global Studies, please come to the stage? The award for Outstanding Achievement in Conflict Resolution is awarded to Anne LeMay Hurley and is presented by Professor Eben Weitzman. The Gerontology Award for Outstanding Achievement is awarded to Ji Young Liu and is presented by Professor Jeffrey Burr. The Richard A. Hogarty Award for Academic Excellence in Public Affairs is awarded to Brendan Williams and is presented by Professor Connie Chan. The award for Academic Excellence in the Masters of Science in Public Affairs International Affairs program is awarded to Daniel Zalesnik and is presented by Professor Samuel Barkin. The Book Award for Excellence in Public Policy is awarded to Ghazal Zulfikar and is presented by Professor Christine Thurlow-Brenner. Will William Kiernan, Dean of the School of Global Inclusion and Social Development, please come to the stage? The award for Outstanding Achievement in Rehabilitation Counseling is awarded to Shelley Accardi and is presented by Professor James Soldner. The Vision Studies Award for Academic Excellence in Orientation and Mobility is awarded to Esther Carr and is presented by Professor Robert McCulley. The Vision Studies Award for Academic Excellence in a Teacher of Students with Visual Impairment is awarded to Diane Artero and is presented by Professor Robert McCulley. Quite the finale. It's awesome. So congratulations to all our book award winners. Congratulations to all graduate students here today. A couple more things. I wanted to give my sincere thanks for the team at the Office of Graduate Studies and Graduate Admissions for whom this day we wouldn't have gotten through. So thank you very much for them. And on a final thought, before 2 housekeeping announcements, when people ask me about my students at UMass Boston, I always sort of struggle to characterize them because I've taught many, many undergrads and many graduate students. I think that undergrads come to campus trying to get away from something. I think that graduate students actually come to be able to go towards something. They know what they want to do. So go do those things with as much gusto and enthusiasm as you can. Good luck to you all. We have a wonderful spread, a reception downstairs for students, family, and friends. We'd love to see you down there in the cafeteria, but please remain seated until the stage party, faculty, and graduate students leave the room, the ballroom, and we'll see how that goes. Thank you very much.